She was just a maid. She barely spoke. She never sat down to eat when others did. But one thing about her caught the billionaire's attention. She kept going back to the fridge. Again and again. And when the truth finally came out, it shocked everyone. The Winters mansion stood like a fortress in Chicago, all glass and steel, a monument to wealth and power. Its owner, Alexander Winters, was a man known for his sharp mind and frozen heart. His staff nicknamed him Mr. Freeze, not only because of his last name, but because he treated emotions like weaknesses. Among his many employees was a maid named Rosa. She was just 24, quiet, humble, and almost invisible. Every day she wore the same patched uniform and the same worn-out shoes. Yet she never complained, never arrived late, never asked for more. But Alexander noticed something strange. Rosa would open the fridge, stare at the food for a moment, then quietly close it. She never touched anything, but her eyes always searched the shelves, scanning the dates. One afternoon, after a deal had gone terribly wrong, Alexander returned home furious. And there she was again standing at the fridge. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he snapped. Rosa jumped, startled. "I was just spying, stealing, looking for scraps." His voice thundered through the kitchen. Before she could finish, he cut her off. "You're fired. Pack your things. Get out." By nightfall, Rosa was gone. She didn't argue, didn't beg. She simply left, tears burning in her eyes. 3 days later, Mrs. Carter, the head housekeeper, spoke up carefully. "Sir, about..." Rosa. Alexander frowned. "What about her?" Carter hesitated, then said, "She wasn't stealing. She was checking expiry dates. She took expired food home. Not for herself, but to feed the children in her building. 3 little kids with no mother. Fathers who don't care. She even used her own pay to buy them medicine when she was sick." Alexander stood frozen, speechless. For years, he had thrown away food without a second thought. And yet Rosa, who had almost nothing, risked her job and dignity just to feed children who weren't even hers. That night, Alexander found himself standing in front of the fridge, not staring at the food, but at his own reflection in the glass. For the first time in a long time, the silence of the mansion felt unbearable. Meanwhile, Rosa's tiny apartment told a different story. Cracked walls, a broken heater, a single dim bulb. She had $12 left. For days without work, she skipped meals so that the neighbors' children Liam, Daniela, and little Mara could eat instead. She was exhausted, but determined not to let them starve. A knock at the door startled her. Expecting the landlady demanding rent, she opened it slowly. But there, standing in the doorway, was Alexander Winters, in a black coat, holding 2 heavy paper bags. He stepped inside without arrogance, set the bags on her small table, and spoke quietly. "I was wrong," he said. "I misjudged you. I accused you, and I humiliated you. Carter told me the truth, and now, I can't ignore it." Rosa stood frozen, her heart racing. "I'm not here just to apologize," he continued. "I came with an offer. These groceries, medicine, formula, they're yours. But more than that, I want you to come back, not as a maid. I want to sponsor your education. Full tuition, whatever you want to study. And when you finish, a position in my non-profit, helping families like yours." Rosa's lips parted, but no words came. Finally, she whispered, "Why? Why would you do this?" Alexander's expression softened. "Because when I was 12, my mother cleaned houses. She died young. No one helped her. No one believed in her. When I saw you, I saw her. And I realized I've spent my whole life building wealth, but not giving the kind of kindness she gave. Maybe it's time to change that." Rosa's eyes filled with tears. She didn't know how to respond. He simply said, "Don't lose that heart of yours." 1 week later, Rosa returned to the mansion, not as a maid, but as a student. And that same kitchen that once wasted food became the center of a new food donation program where nothing went to the trash, but instead went to shelters and families in need. The children she once fed, Alexander enrolled them in school. 3 years later, Rosa stood as the director of that very program, degree in hand, shaping a legacy far bigger than herself. People say money makes the world go round, but it's kindness that makes the world worth living in. Rosa never defended herself, never sought recognition, yet her silent compassion changed a billionaire's heart and, in turn, the lives of countless others. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. 2 Stories That Stay, where we share powerful tales that remind us, even in the coldest world, one warm heart can change everything.